Turn self-discipline into a habit. Please understand that really successful people who are very self-disciplined weren't born that way. They made certain choices. One choice is to turn self-discipline into a habit. The good news is self-discipline is just like any other life skill. At first, it's kind of rough because you haven't really focused on it before. In fact, in many cases, you might be operating in fully foreign territory. It's completely new to you. Its language is Greek to you. But as you figure things out through trial and error and by sheer repetition, eventually everything starts to fall into place, and guess what happens? It becomes easier. It's not much different from going to the gym for the first time. If you've ever tried working out at the gym, the first few days are murder on your muscles. How can they not? You haven't put pressure on your muscles before. But as you get used to pumping iron and you go to the gym day after day, eventually your body adjusts. Before you know it, you start developing leaner, bigger, and stronger muscles. The same applies to your self-control and self-discipline. Instead of physical muscles, they are mental and emotional muscles. Still, they operate like muscles. The more you challenge them and put pressure on them, the stronger they become. There is, of course, initial resistance and discomfort. This goes with the territory. But as long as you are able to follow through, eventually things become easier and, before you know it, becomes almost automatic because self-discipline has become a habit. In a 2010 study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, 92 people who were trying to quit smoking were studied in terms of self-control habit formation. In an initial meeting, they were led to believe for 2 weeks that when they do certain tasks like keeping a diary, doing math problems, practicing hand grip exercises, and avoiding sweets, they would build self-control. In the first group involving hand grip and sweet avoidance, participants were told to inhibit their behaviors, feelings, and urges. They were told to eat as little sweet foods as possible. They were also given hand grips to exercise their gripping power. For the diary group, people were just told to keep a diary of any acts of self-control they did throughout the period. This was actually the control group. It turns out that when people were assigned to practices involving resisting sweets or doing hand grip exercises, they are more likely to achieve higher levels of self-control. In other words, small acts of self-control can lead to greater overall self-discipline. It becomes a habit. When you apply self-control to small things, they scale up to the larger challenges in your life. Don't think that a little bit of self-control in one area of your life will, in no way, spill over to other areas of your life. They do. Step-by-step guide to turning self-control into a habit. Step number 1, focus on getting small stuff done. If, for example, you're trying to adopt a new habit of always knocking out your daily to-do lists, focus first on getting small stuff done. Focus on the ministerial stuff. Step number 2, scale up once it gets easy. When you look at your daily tasks, there are always low-hanging fruit. Make it a point to habitually eliminate those day after day. Once you've reached a point where it becomes easy for you to take care of low-hanging fruit, scale up to tasks that take a lot more time or require more willpower. Step number 3, keep scaling up when things get easy. You will notice something strange when you're scaling up. It turns out you achieve a certain momentum and you're able to handle more things. Pay close attention when this happens. Compare yourself to where you began. Step number 4, get your if-then statements ready. Always have your if-then statements at the back of your mind when it comes to intention implementation. A little bit of preparation can go a long way because life can throw you curveballs. Be prepared for disappointments and circumvent them. There's always a workaround, so focus on the workaround and you'd be surprised as to how much you can achieve. The best part to all of this is your momentum builds up very quickly over time. Make sure you get enough sleep. Self-discipline, just in case you are not aware, eats up a lot of your personal focus and willpower. According to researchers, it turns out that we only have a certain amount of willpower available to us every single day. It's not like we have this unlimited reservoir of willpower that we just need to tap. That doesn't exist. We're not wired that way. Instead, imagine yourself having a certain number of coins every single day. Anything that requires attention, analysis, focus, or any kind of critical or deep thinking burns quite a bit of willpower. The same applies to any kind of activity that requires patience. It is no surprise that a lot of people who have serious self-control issues run out of willpower before the day is out. In fact, a lot of them don't start out with much willpower at all. Even fairly mid-level challenges are enough to deplete their willpower. So, what happens to them? Well, they're unable to resist temptation for the rest of the day. They basically just go back to their old patterns of trying to seek a shortcut or just basically procrastinating and putting things off. They don't build self-control and self-discipline. They don't have the foundation for it. How can they? They've completely run out of willpower. Well, it turns out that this fixed amount of willpower that we start out with can be increased based on how much we sleep the night before. Sleep is crucial to replenishing your willpower. If you notice that you don't have much willpower to begin with, try getting a full 8 hours worth of sleep. Please pay attention to what I just said. I'm not just talking about the duration of your sleep. It's crucial for you to get 8 full hours of shut-eye. That's important. But you also have to pay attention to quality in addition to quantity. It's not enough to get 8 hours of sleep. It has to be the right kind of sleep. What is the best quality sleep? We're talking about REM sleep. This is rapid eye movement sleep where you're basically dreaming. Your mind unclutters itself. It reorganizes information and it rests in a deep and profound way. When it does this, your mental faculties are refreshed the next day and you start off with a lot more willpower than the day before. That's how REM sleep works. You have to burn the candle from both ends when it comes to sleep. Not only do you have to make sure that you sleep long enough, but it also has to be deep, restful, meaningful sleep. When you do this, you increase the amount of willpower you have, and your mood is able to withstand a lot more punishment. You are able to focus for much longer, exercise better judgment, and improve your choices overall. These conclusions were inferred from a study published in October 2011 in the Academy of Management Journal. 2 groups were studied in terms of sleep deprivation, and the study highlights the fact that those study participants who had less sleep had showed signs of decreased self-control. They also tended to be more hostile. Step-by-step guide to increasing your sleep quality and quantity. Step number 1, keep a regular sleep schedule. Make sure that regardless of whatever else is going on in your life, you stick to a fixed schedule for sleep. You owe yourself 8 hours every single night. Stick to that schedule. If you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, stay in your bed. Resist the temptation to get up, grab a glass of water, or check your email. The moment you're exposed to light, chances are your sleep patterns will be disrupted and you're going to have a tough time going back to sleep. If you find yourself waking up in bed, stay in bed. Step number 2, make it a point to lay down and get up at the same time every single day. At first, it's going to be tough for you to stick to this schedule, but eventually you will get used to it. Step number 3, adopt a pre- and post-sleep ritual. Believe it or not, the things that you choose to do before and after you sleep play a big role in both duration and quality of your sleep. Be very careful as to what your rituals are. Don't drink coffee. Don't drink any kind of stimulants. Don't work out or engage in heavy exercise right before you go to sleep. Manage your time very carefully. Pay close attention to what you choose to do before and after your sleep. Take notes. Maybe there are certain activities that enable you to fall asleep faster and deeper. Do those. By the same token, be aware of the things that you're currently doing that cuts your sleep short or ensure that your sleep is very shallow. Ditch those and replace those with better habits. Step number 4, take control of your surroundings. A lot of people think that just because their bed is at a certain place in their home and it has a certain surrounding that basically they have nothing they can do about it. This is wrong. You have a lot of say in your surroundings before you sleep. You might want to remodel your bedroom. You might want to move furniture around. You might want to make small changes in lighting and acoustics as well as background sound. Don't think that just because your bed is located in a certain place that sleep is a take it or leave it proposition. Don't fall into that trap. Make sure that your surroundings are conducive to sleep. Unfortunately, the only person that can definitively answer this is you. So pay close attention to your surroundings. Take control of them. Make small changes here and there. Mix and match things. Track your results. Build on the things that you're doing right. Identify the things that you're doing wrong and come up with variations. This can take quite a while, but the good news is you will be paid off handsomely in the form of longer and more rewarding sleep. Your self-control is on the line. You need as much willpower in the beginning of the day as possible. Consider this long, drawn-out process as a necessary investment in the willpower you need to achieve the self-control that you're looking to build.